Hey kids, it's Mrs. Davis from Happy Place to Grow. And as you can see, I'm not in my learning corner today, but I am in a corner. And I want to invite you in so we can have some fun and some learning. Now, just take a look at my special decorations. Can you guess what holiday it is today? That's right, it's St. Patrick's Day. Happy St. Patrick's Day to you. Are you wearing green today? You know there's a tradition. If you're not wearing green, you can get pinched. So get that green on. Wait a minute. Wonder why we wear green on St. Patrick's Day, and I wonder why we think about shamrocks and leprechauns. I wonder where all of these really interesting traditions, ways that we celebrate St. Patrick's Day, I wonder where they came from. Have you ever thought about why we wear green on St. Patrick's Day, or why we even call this day St. Patrick's Day? You know, when I'm celebrating a holiday, a special day, I'm curious, and I always want to find out more about why I'm participating in a special day. So I thought it would be important for us to learn a little bit more about the people that brought us the St. Patrick's Day celebration traditions. Yeah, the people from the land of Ireland, the Irish folk. You know, in 1820, the Irish people started coming over to America. They started immigrating over here to our land from Ireland. Many of them came over here because, well, they wanted to experience freedom in our country, and they wanted to have a better life, and they wanted to own land. So they traveled a really far distance from the land of Ireland to get a new start and become a citizen here in our country. But you know what? When they came over, they didn't forget about the land of Ireland or their Irish traditions and heritage is. So they brought a lot of their celebrations and ways of doing things over here. You know, their traditions. A tradition is a belief or a custom that you want to share with others and pass on from generation to generation. And so I thought it would be interesting to learn a little bit more about the land of Ireland so we can get a little more familiar with why we're celebrating this fun green holiday called St. Patrick's Day. Well, first of all, I want to show you a map. I've got a newspaper here, and it has a map of the land of Ireland. Let me just situate it here. There it is. Now, when I'm talking about real people, places, or things, I always like to pull out special nonfiction tools. A map is a good way to discover information about places. So as we're taking a trip to Ireland, getting to know the land a little bit better and the people, it's important for us to understand that this is a country, the country of Ireland, and there's a world map so that can show you a little bit more about the land of Ireland. Now, Ireland is an island. Do you know what an island is? Yeah, it is a body of land that's surrounded all the way around it by water. So that's the land of Ireland. I also want to show you the Irish flag. Now, you know, every country has their own special flag to represent their land. Our flag is red, white, and blue with white stars and red and white stripes. Look at the flag from Ireland. It's green, white, and orange. It's really different from ours. And each section of the colors represent something about the land of Ireland. Now, let's take a little visit to the land of Ireland. There are some really cool things to see in the land, and we're going to have a special little helper. Well, not little. He's a big helper. Clifford, the big red dog, is going to be our tour guide in Emily Elizabeth. And the title of this newspaper says, A Trip to Ireland. All right, so get on this plane, and let's fly over to Ireland. You can see in the background, there's water because it is an island. And then here's some little stone cottages and stone walls, lots of green. This says, hi, I'm Emily Elizabeth. This is Emily Elizabeth. She's Clifford's owner. What is my big red dog Clifford doing on this big green hill? He's got a little shamrock in his mouth. We took a trip to Ireland for St. Patrick's Day. Now I want you to take a really close look at this globe. You can see right here, there's our country, the United States. And if you go across the ocean, there's a little arrow, and there's Ireland. And you can tell that our country is larger in size. Can you tell on that map? I always like to check out maps when I'm studying lands. All right, let's open up this newspaper and get a little bit more familiar with the land of Ireland. There's a question at the top. It says, what will you see in Ireland? St. Patrick's Day comes from Ireland. So it's a tradition from Ireland, as we talked about. And then this is going to be kind of fun as we go through the newspaper. Emily Elizabeth says, look for the leprechaun hiding in each picture. Can you spy him? Now he's hiding in a plant from Ireland called the shamrock. I found this at my local grocery store. I always love to pick up the shamrock plant every St. Patrick's Day. I think it's a really beautiful plant. Let's find out about shamrocks. It says fields of shamrocks. These small plants have 3 leaves. You can see shamrocks all over Ireland. In fact, shamrocks make people think of Ireland. People even send pots of them to each other on St. Patrick's Day, kind of like we send gifts to people on Christmas. If you're going to visit a friend and it's St. Patrick's Day, you have to take a pot of shamrocks with you. Probably brings good luck. What do you think? So shamrocks are a big part of Ireland, and it makes Ireland look very, very green. I wonder if that's why we wear green. Green is a color that covers Ireland. That's probably where that tradition came from. Now, this is one of my favorite things when I'm talking about the Irish people and Ireland. It's called Irish dancing. Let's find out. Look at these beautiful costumes. It says people call this kind of dancing a step dance. Dancers move their feet very fast. They dance to the music of the fiddle and bagpipe. And there's the fiddle and there's the bagpipe. Those are instruments that are used in the land of Ireland. Now, I've seen these dancers in videos. I always like to watch the Irish dancing when it's St. Patrick's Day, and they do move their feet very fast, but their bodies, their upper bodies, stay very still and straight. Probably takes a lot of practice to do step dancing. So that's another tradition. That's from Ireland. Now, look at this page. We've got city and we've got country, because in the land of Ireland, there are lots of different places to visit. So they have both areas with cities and country. In Irish cities, you might see a double-decker bus. That would be cool to ride on. Look how high it is. In the countryside, you can see sheep on green hills. So I think another thing that Ireland is famous for in the country is lots of sheep. Now here's one of my favorite things. I've never been, of course, to Ireland, but if I could ever take a trip there for real, I would definitely want to go visit a castle. There's lots of castles in Ireland. Long ago, people built castles in Ireland. You can see some of these old castles today. So you could go take a tour of a castle. That would be cool. It says some of them are more than 800 years old, and they are made out of stone. Now, when I am learning about new lands and definitely thinking about people from other lands, I like to think about the different ways that they say things. And so this is a fun thing that we're going to do. It says, say it the Irish way. So here we go. If you just had your dinner, if you were here in America, you would say, and you were talking to a friend and you just finished dinner, you'd say, I just had my dinner. But if you lived in Ireland, you would say it like this: I'm only after my dinner. Now, if you're in Ireland and you want to order some French fries, here we say French fries. If you go to Ireland, don't say French fries. You have to say chips. That's funny. I think of chips like potato chips, but in Ireland, if you say chips, you're going to get French fries. Now, this one I think would be a fun one to say to your mom the next time that you want something to eat. If you're feeling hungry, you would go up to your mom and say, I'm feeling hungry. But if you're in Ireland, you would say, I'm feeling peckish. Peckish. Maybe you should, the next time that you want a snack, go up to your mom and say, Mom, I'm feeling peckish. She'd probably like, what? What are you talking about? Are you sick? I love to find out how people in other countries say things similar to us or different. It's really cool to find out about other lands and other people. I think that's very fascinating. Now I have one more newspaper. I'm going to switch back out and we're just going to review a few things before we close up. Of course, this newspaper has on the front cover that there are a lot of sheep in Ireland. We knew that. And I'm going to have to fold this, but I did want you to see, and I'm going to kind of turn it back and forth here. And this headline says, the land of green. Remember that St. Patrick's Day is about wearing the green, and that's because this says Ireland is an island. An island has water on all sides. In some places, sandy beaches meet the sea. In other places, tall cliffs. That's the new information I want to share with you before we close up, because there's castles, double-decker bus, sheep, lots of green, shamrocks, but there's also cliffs. So we're going to take a look at that in just a minute. There are tall cliffs that come right up to the ocean. Green grass covers the land. Green is the color that makes people think of Ireland. So here's what we already have talked about: castles and those step dancers. and the double-decker buses. Here's something new that I wanted to share with you that was in this newspaper. It's about those cliffs. Look at how tall that cliff is. These cliffs rise 700 feet from the Atlantic Ocean. They are one of the most popular places in Ireland for people to visit. Seabirds make nests in the walls of the cliffs. So I wanted to share that one last piece of information with you. Wow, that was a really interesting time that we had learning about the land of Ireland and some of those traditions. So as you're celebrating today, St. Patrick's Day, and you're wearing your green, and maybe you're thinking about shamrocks, 4-leaf and 3-leaf shamrocks that might bring you good luck. And maybe at school you're working on trying to catch a leprechaun and having lots of fun stories about St. Patrick's Day and leprechauns. I want you also to think about the reason why we are celebrating St. Patrick's Day. Now, if you're in some big cities like the city of Chicago, they have parades. I think New York City does too. And lots of Irish people come out to celebrate in the parades. And in Chicago, it's a tradition to put green food coloring or some kind of green color in the river and turn it green on St. Patrick's Day. So if you get a chance to see that on the news, that's a really interesting thing that happens in the city of Chicago. Well, kids, I've had fun visiting Ireland with you, and I hope you have a fun St. Patrick's Day at your school or at your house. Don't forget to wear green, and hopefully you'll have some good luck today. All right, until our next learning time together, as always, have a good one. And if you're peckish, go sneak a snack from the kitchen. And maybe that snack might be some chips, right? Meaning French fries. All right. I'm going to take my shamrock and head out. And until our next time together, as always, have a good one.